El suelo del baño es de losas color café, sin marcas ni rastros de agujeros. No parece que allí estaba la bañera por donde escapó Joaquín el Chapo Guzmán. Muchos ya compraron su boleto porque quieren ganarla.
Porque pues en esta vida, digo, muchas cosas no sabemos y las poseemos.
Es una casa de clase media en Culiacán, Sinaloa. Tiene 4 recámaras, cocina y patio. Ya no tiene la bañera que se abría ni tenía un túnel directo al drenaje. Por ahí escapó el capo en febrero de 2014 con su amante, la ex diputada Lucero Sánchez, cuando casi lo captura la Marina. Fue decomisada y es parte de la rifa del gobierno.
Que todo lo que se obtenga es para apoyar a deportistas.
Valorada en $184,000. El ex líder del cártel de Sinaloa ordenó que le construyeran túneles que conectaban con 7 casas. María dice que si se la gana, no vivirá en ella.
Sí, como que no resulta muy motivador como para vivir en ella.
El Chapo escapó, pero fue capturado días después. En 2015 se fugó por segunda vez de una prisión, hasta que fue recapturado en 2016. Hoy purga cadena perpetua. Y no solo será la casa del Chapo. En la rifa hay más de $10 millones en premios que incluyen casas incautadas a políticos corruptos y a otros narcotraficantes. La rifa de la Lotería Nacional será este 15 de septiembre, Día de la Independencia. El boleto cuesta $12. Entre los premios también está una casa valuada en $4 millones del Señor de los Cielos, Amado Carrillo, líder del cártel de Juárez. Pero apenas la disfrutó. Murió durante una cirugía plástica en 1997, cuando le cambiaron el rostro. En México, Raúl Torres, Noticias Telemundo.
SpaceX will launch 4 space tourists on a 3-day trip. Are you ready for commercial flights to space? Yesterday, Apple unveiled new iPhones, Apple Watches, iPads during a virtual media event held in California. Do we really need another phone? El Chapo Guzman, the notorious drug kingpin, will be having his house auctioned off by the federal Mexican government. Pretty cool. Amazon has announced that it will increase its starting wage to $18. What does that mean for our job market in our local area? It is Wednesday, 7:04 a.m. My name's Frankie Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Apple, same thing from 8 years ago. That's something that we're going to talk about, Quesada. Every year, it seems like if we have to keep up with the Jones. I went from an iPhone 7 to an iPhone X, which is the iPhone 10. So I waited 3 years, Quesada. But really, does the software really change? We'll touch on that a little bit more. Good morning. Good morning, Manny. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Puro pinche Chapito Guzman. We'll be talking about it, Chapo Guzman, man. Please tune in. Shouts out to my friend Ernesto Quesada, que nos está viendo desde Guadalajara. Saludos a la familia, amigo. Raymond, how's it going? Good morning, Frankie. All my friends and family, if you're watching me right now, go to YouTube. Create an account if you haven't already. Search, like, and subscribe to my page. It will really, really benefit what we're trying to do. Thank you so much for your time. Good morning, brother. How's it going? Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day as well, Cantu. Thank you so much for your time. Puro mercado libre a la the open market, baby. Good morning, Ramona. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Buenos días, Aleida. ¿Cómo está? Saludos. Feliz miércoles. Gracias por su tiempo. Que tenga un lindo día. Ching, Vallarta. Dude, you're like Anthony Bourdain. No sé si estás en Guadalajara o si estás en Vallarta. Tú vives viviendo la vida. I do apologize again. Send a special shout out to the friends and family for their time. I miss you, my man. Thank you so much for your presence. Hope to see you very soon in the very near future. The weather. I'm a little scared to talk about the weather, especially after the snafu that we went through this past Wednesday. It was prognosticated that we were going to get heavy. Heavy is heavy a word? We're going to get hit heavy. I can't even speak, man. It's Wednesday. We're going to get hit heavy with some rain. Y nada. We were all expecting the rain. And for whatever reason, the rain never came. In the city of Brownsville today, should be a warm day, partly cloudy with some chance of rain. But again, after what we went through these past couple of days, probably not even going to rain. Here it is showing on the forecast for the city of Brownsville for us to get 40% chance of rain in the afternoon after our lunchtime. And if we look out throughout the week, same thing for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But again, I told y'all we were going to get chingos of rain, and for whatever reason, we got no rain. Good morning, Joe. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Thank you for stopping by. I just thumbs down. Hater. Un besito para todos mis haters. Good morning. Buenos días, tía. ¿Cómo está? Muchas gracias por su paciencia. Que tenga un lindo día. Saludos a la familia. Ya tenemos rato que no los vemos. Un fuerte abrazo, un beso y gracias por su tiempo. Me saluda Alondra, Cassandra y a todos los grandkids. Love you. Done. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Captain. I really appreciate it. Again, friends and family, if you could do me a small favor and show some support, some love to my YouTube page. I'm trying to grow the page by providing as much content as possible for the city of Brownsville and our surrounding areas. If you can do me a small favor and just like the page. I'm doing everything possible to keep our community informed the best of my ability. Thank you so much, Captain. I really, really appreciate it. Keeping up with COVID update. Recently, Cameron County did report several deaths within these past couple days. And we have seen the nation struggle with the COVID-19 cases. It seems like if states such as Kentucky, Maryland have been having difficulty with keeping up with the large amounts of positive cases that have been arising. Here locally, we have seen Dr. Jamil Mahdi, who has emphasized the need for vaccinations. He posted on his page a couple days ago how being vaccinated reduces the risk of infection by 5 times, by being hospitalized 10 times, and also death. We had unfortunate news here in our local area. The Laguna Vista family lost a citizen of theirs, Noah LeBlanc, who was also a law enforcement officer for the city of Laguna Vista. We send our condolences, our prayers to the LeBlanc family, to our residents of Laguna Vista, and to his brothers, to his brother in arms. We saw many posts from his colleagues, from his family, just letting the community know of what a great individual Noah was. Noah was battling cancer, but ultimately he contracted COVID and he passed away on Monday. Sending our love to his family. There are no words that we can say that will give you the comfort and love that you desperately need right now. We have faith that our Lord and Savior is the only one that can give you that love and comfort. And we hope that that you find peace in all of this. God bless. With all of this, with COVID being such a high infectious virus, we have seen how neighboring school districts throughout the valley have started virtual learning. BISD has started the process a little bit late, but I guess better late than never. The application process is going to start today, the 15th, all the way up until the 20th at 5 p.m. So please, I encourage my friends and family. It is only going to be 10% of the population that is going to be allowed to do virtual learning. But if you're worried about our current condition that we're going through, and you feel that if your child would excel in distant learning, please sign up with our local school district. It is very, very important. And local news, again, we want to recognize some individuals within our school district. We had the Hannah ROTC recognize a few counselors within the department, and it's always nice for our staff to get recognition, and even more importantly, whenever it's from those that matter the most. The students did want to recognize Miss Perales, Miss Ontiveros, and Miss Chavez for going far and beyond for Hannah as a whole, but more importantly for the ROTC program. Special shouts out goes to the Hannah Counseling Department. As a former alum, I have nothing but great memories from Hannah. I'm very supportive of everything that is Hannah. So special shouts out goes to Miss Perales, Miss Ontiveros, and Miss Chavez for assisting our ROTC in getting them ready for life in general. So again, special shouts out goes to the Hannah Counseling Department. Also, we got news from our city that the Brownsville Metro bus system will be traveling now, and we'll be having a stop at our sports park. Lately, we have seen a lot of action in that area. We have a Toyota center, a Toyota car dealership, and we have an idea school. Well, now the city of Brownsville will be having stops throughout the day, throughout different points throughout the city. We have the Plaza Terminal down in Elizabeth, Old Military, at the flea market on West Elizabeth. The areas of interest, of pickup, where individuals could travel throughout the city. But one of the stops that we will be having is at our Brownsville Park now. So anybody interested in wanting to use this service, please do so. Better late than never, Patty. Thank you so much. You know how much I appreciate you. Go ahead and like the page. I have 5 thumbs up, and Erasmo's thumb down. Un hater. Erasmo's un hater, pero bueno, ¿qué le hacemos? Again, keeping up with the culture. We have to do our very best to keep up with what's going on, because if not, we get left out of the trends. This past week was Fashion Week in New York City. The Met Gala was in full effect. And as you can imagine, we had these celebrities dressed up as Power Rangers, it seems. Here, the famous one-hit wonder, in my opinion, was dressed up to me like a Power Ranger. We had Kim Kardashian, who was dressed as God knows what. This was the Balenciaga and Kanye West design. We have seen previously how Kanye West has used this on his Donda album preview that he held at the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. So Kim Kardashian West dressed up like Kanye pretty much. Also, Bennifer, they had a special moment kissing with the mask on. And one thing I do want to mention, Jennifer Lopez, she went from Alex Rodriguez to back to Ben Affleck in a jiffy. My girlfriend would always tell me, hey, si no te pones trucha, I'm going to be like Jennifer. So, hey, man, much power to them. The one that stole the show was New York Rep AOC. She has been very outspoken against taxing the rich. She wore a dress that said that, tax the rich. The ironic thing that my friends were mentioning was that this dress, ladies and gentlemen, was worth $30,000. So the irony in all this, pretty crazy, huh? Also, tech news. Quesada was talking about the iPhones. Apple, it's the same thing, 8 years over and over again. We saw them yesterday, how they have their annual conference in California, announcing to the world of their new products that will be up for sale. Apple did have the Apple 13, the iPhone minis, the mini iPads in full effect. The Apple Watch Series 7. I have the 5 or the 6. I'm not too sure. The new feature here for the watch is that if you fall down, it will either monitor you or make an emergency phone call. Not much has changed. One thing that I do want to bring up to all my fellow YouTubers, podcasters, is this is what's going to change the game. We will now be able to connect our cameras to mini iPads, which is the USB-C cord that is not provided on cell phones. That's one thing that I did want to see in this conference, but it didn't come about. Connecting my camera to my phone, that's something that as a podcaster, as a YouTuber, it's very convenient. So moving forward, will this be the technology that we will get used to? And just like how Quesada said, you know, not much has changed in 8 years. The only thing has changed, guys, is the pricing. Look back at the first iPhone, the iPhone 4, or is that the 4 SE? It was at $400, and we see year in and year out how the price keeps on ballooning. The iPhone 13 Pro is for $1,000, and again, the more storage room you want, the more expensive it gets, apparently. But do we get tired of our cell phones? Are you like the type of customer that purchases a phone every year because of the either new updates, new software, new camera? Do we get tired of our old phones? For me personally, the way I like to do it is every 2 years. Every 2 years I get a phone. I think I don't feel as bad as getting it every year. So I get my phones every 2 years. And one thing that kind of ticked me off is, remember back in the day, a couple of years ago, when Apple was fined because they were being investigated of actively practicing slowing down old iPhones. Have you ever noticed that? How your old iPad, how your old iPhone would not have as much juice in their battery, how it would not download software properly. And the logical thing was, oh, I'll just buy a new phone. Well, they were slapped with a fine of over $113 million a couple of years ago because they were actively doing this. And the SEC came in and said, hey, you're only doing this because you want people to buy your product. So little sneaky there. But again, the main attraction for this conference was the iPhone 13. The 13 is $1,000. The Pro Max is $1,100. Not much has changed, such as how Quesada previously mentioned. AOC looks like she's wearing a Chick-fil-A bag over her. somebody cropped out the tax the rich on her dress and put Trump won. That was a little funny. But again, Met Gala, we have to keep up with the culture. SpaceX news. Papi Musk has his hands in everything, it seems. He is building plants in Houston and Austin, where the Cybertrucks in Austin will be in production. And in Houston, they are going to be building batteries to be retail providers of electricity. Well, now, how we have previously spoken about SpaceX here locally, how the idea is that Boca Chica, Starbase, Brownsville, Texas, will be the destination on humans' quest for commercial flights to space, and in particular to Mars. Well, today at 7 p.m. Central Time, 4 tourists, 4 average Joes. Well, they're not so average because, you know, one's a billionaire, the other one's a physician's assistant, an engineer, a geologist, but 4 non-astronauts will be flying to space. This will be a mission that will take place 3 days. And like how I said, these individuals are engineers. They're physician's assistants. They're professors. They're geologists, non-astronauts. This was commissioned by a billionaire that wanted to have ordinary Joes, ordinary people, common folks, to be sent off into space. And it just got me thinking, is this our new world? Are we going to be having these commercial flights to space a common thing? Again, these aren't affordable at this time, as we all know. It is very expensive. A billionaire just commissioned this because he wants this to be a common thing. He wants people, ordinary people, to say that I went to space. So SpaceX today out of Florida will be launching 4 non-astronauts into space. Would you want to go into space if it was affordable? Would you fear for this? I'm kind of going to wait another 20 years before I throw my hat in the ring. But just something to think about, that this could be a possibility sooner rather than later. In world news, El Chapo Guzman, El Chapito Guzman, we have seen how the drug kingpin has made a fortune. He was ranked 701 on the Forbes billionaire list back in the early 2000s, and that gave him worldwide fame. Still to this day, he is a he is a folkloric hero to many Mexicans. El Chapo Guzman, through his criminal organization, did provide schools, hospitals, food, school supplies to residents of Culiacan and Sinaloa. We have seen how he has been a master of escaping the federal government, whether that was through the help of the federal government or not. But we have seen how his presence is well felt in Mexico. Well, the federal government, President AMLO announced that they will be auctioning off his house, one of his houses that was seized by the government. This was a home in which he was staying, and these drug lords, as you can imagine, they don't stay in these houses frequently. They stay maybe 1 or 2 days and then they bounce. They're safe houses. But this house in particular is very famous because it was the house where he escaped one time through the bathtub. It was a hydraulic system that they found in the bathtub that they were not able to reach him. And El Chapo Guzman, as we all know, is the master of tunnels. It is said that back in the 90s, he used to come freely to the United States underground. That it is said, there are stories that he was in California, that these drug kingpins, up until the federal government got word, that they used to come and go. They used to move drugs under the tunnel. And it is no secret that his houses, his safe houses, had an escape route. Well, this house being auctioned off by the federal government was one of his houses in which he installed a hydraulic system to escape authorities. This house is worth around $183,000 that is being auctioned off. We showed the video at the very beginning of how individuals were actively wanting to take part and say, hey, it's $184,000. I just have to pay $20 for a ticket. And if I win, well, I win. I'm part of history. I don't know. I would kind of use it as a museum. I'm sure individuals would get it and sell it and use the proceeds, of course, to live life. But I found this amazing, pretty much. Good morning, Karina. How's it going? Thank you for your time. Hope you have a great hump day. Happy Wednesday. God bless. Thank you so much. In finance news, Amazon will be hiring over 125,000 workers. We are in this seasonal time of year where many companies are in the need of seasonal workers with the holidays fastly approaching. Amazon did announce that they will be having positions starting at $18 with room for growth. And you might say, hey, well, that's Amazon. That's in New York. That's in Seattle. What does it have to deal with us here in South Texas, here in Brownsville? Amazon will be opening 10 stores throughout the state of Texas, throughout our area. Many in the tech blogs have been discussing McAllen as a possible destination, as we could already imagine how Dallas, Houston, the DFW area, big metropolitan cities and dense of population cities will be getting these plants. But McAllen might be a possible destination. And what great way for individuals to obtain employment. And there was much discussion about individuals not wanting to work these past couple months. They've been saying, oh, they're lazy. They'd rather have the money that the government's giving them instead of working, instead of earning their money. But one thing I do want to bring it into people's attention. And while individuals have valid points, I want to stress how our federal government has not done enough for our workers. Here I have a post showing the minimum age throughout the past decade has remained constant. The minimum wage since 2009 has been at $7.25, and still 10 years later, 11 years later, it remains at $7.25. Businesses, we have seen how businesses have had to close shop because they say, hey, we are short of workers. We do not have enough manpower for these workers. And the reason why is not because people don't want to work. It is because they're not paying enough. Let's look at our restaurant industry. Restaurant waiters depend heavily on tips. Obviously, they work the weekends, they work Thursday, they work Friday, they work Saturday. Bartenders, same thing. They work for the tips. They get paid $3.25 or $2.15 an hour. So they don't depend on their hourly paycheck. Have we noticed how that has also remained intact? The starting wage for waiters at $2.15. We have not seen an increase. Why don't we give them $5 an hour plus tips? But no, people don't want to work because our institutions have not changed and provided opportunities for them. So why is there a labor shortage? Because of the pay scale. Amazon is promising $18, and that's very competitive, especially for here for the Rio Grande Valley. Just something to think about moving forward. Our feature story, Poppy Musk. Poppy Musk seems to not be afraid to tell it how it is. Ford has been doing everything possible to make sure that they are competing with the likes of Tesla and other electronic cars that are up in production right now. Ford built a plant up in Mexico last year. And their process was that they were going to build batteries cheap. As we all know, every business, they outsource. They go to China, they go to Mexico, they go to Taiwan because the labor is cheap. And in Mexico, it is no different. Ford did announce that they will be producing these electronic cars, and the batteries they will be producing are in Mexico. And that kind of ticked off. Poppy Musk. Poppy Musk is quoted as saying that this is a shot at American taxpayers because the lobbyists from Mexico made it. The lobbyists wanting to allow Ford to do this aren't taxing them as much as we should, according to Elon Musk. He is saying, hey, I'm doing everything possible to give Americans jobs. My facilities in Austin and Houston that's going to be built, Starbase in Florida, my boring company that's building tunnels in Las Vegas, in Los Angeles to ease the flow of traffic. I'm providing Americans jobs. I'm circulating the economy within our country. I'm doing good for America. What is Ford doing? So he took some jabs. At the big company. And the reason being was that there was a post on a blog that stated that the new unions being created by Ford and these companies, they're getting a $4,500 tax incentive to be part of this in Mexico, while Americans are only getting $500. And this is the post that he made. If I could, let me see if I could blow it up. Elon Musk is blaming the lobbyists. Here, if we could read, he says how $2,500 will be given to Mexican workers, Mexican unions, but Americans who are part of the union are only getting $500. Musk goes on to state, hey, this was written by Ford lobbyists as they make their electronic cars in Mexico. They're making the batteries. Now, how does this serve American taxpayers? President Trump, being a businessman, he did have products being built in China. When he became president, he started making his caps in the US of A. Why? Because it would look bad of you being a president and you are not providing jobs for our local economy. And we all know business and we understand business. You wanna increase your profit margins as much as possible. You want to produce cheap, buy cheap, and sell high. You need to the way I learned is this, guys. At a bar, a bottle, you get 3 times worth. Each shot, you're supposed to price it at 3 times of what it's worth. One third pays for the liquor, the second third pays for the employee, and the third pays for the business, for the profit. Same thing with these businesses. They try to outsource. They try and go to less impoverished countries because their laws are not as strict as the U.S. We do go into child labor laws, child labor situations in which many countries find themselves in. But Papi Musk is taking shots at America's oldest automobile company, which is Ford, which is something to think about. He is thinking about the American taxpayer. He is putting it on the line on his personal Twitter account that has over millions and millions of followers, and he's stating, "Hey, look what Ford's doing. Ford's moving shop. They want to buy on the low, sell on the high. Look what I'm doing. I'm providing jobs. I'm making sure that Tesla, that SpaceX, that everything that is done in-house in the United States." Something to think about. So special shouts out goes to Papi Musk. Buenos días, José Luis, ¿cómo está? Gracias por su tiempo. Un saludo a todos los empleados del condado de Cameron, a los empleados de la corte, a los empleados del sherife. Un saludo muy especial. Gracias por su tiempo, señor. Good morning, Brownsville. Good morning, Miss Cindy. How's it going? Thank you so much, man, for your time. Send our love and regards to our friends in Harlingen, Texas. Thank you so much for your time. Nice tunnel. Nice tunnels. Hope it has a good sewer system. We'll see. Guys, thank you so much for your time. It is 7:33 a.m. Hope to see you here on Friday. Much love, guys. Thanks so much.